let's learn about Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol was born on August 6, 1928 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. His father, Andy Warhol, worked in a coal mine. Andy had two brothers, John and Paul, both older than him. In elementary school, Andy got a disease called Sydenham chorea, or St. Vitus's dance. He had to stay in bed and use the time to draw, listen to radio, collect pictures of famous people, read comics, and play with paper cutouts. His parents brought Andy his first camera when he was only 8. He took art lessons as a child and went to art school with his family's help. He earned a degree in pictorial design in 1949 and moved to New York City to start his art career. He dropped the final A in Warhola and became known as Andy Warhol. He started off illustrating for magazines and advertisements. One of his early styles was blotted ink drawings. This is a basic printmaking process he developed in college. He would make a drawing and then trace it with ink. While the ink was still wet, he would blot another paper onto the drawing. This made a copy of that art he could use and paint. In 1952, Julia, Andy's mom, went to live with him in New York. Julia was a good artist too, and she liked to draw cats and angels. In the 1960s, Andy became interested in the pop art movement, which had started in the United Kingdom in the mid-50s. Pop art was about taking imagery from popular culture, like ads and comic books and celebrities, and bringing it into the limelight, as if to say, look, this is art too. This was different than the old idea that art painted on a canvas was better than the design on a soup can. Andy became a big figure in pop art. Coca-Cola, too, from 1961, is one of his first pop art works. He had his first solo pop art exhibition in New York in 1962 with art like Marilyn Diptych, 100 soup cans, 100 Coke bottles, and $100 bills. He founded a studio called The Factory, where he invited lots of artists, writers, and musicians to come and create new art. One of the art techniques he worked on at this time was called silkscreen, or screen printing. He did many famous portraits using this technique. To make a screen print, the artist takes a screen, you could say a mesh fabric, with thousands of tiny holes, and he blocks some of the holes in the pattern of the image. The ink is squished through the not blocked holes onto the surface like paper or a t-shirt, and this process can be done over and over, so the artist can make copies of their art. Some of Andy's art are Brillo Soup Box Pads, 1964, Rorschach, 1984, 8 Elvises, 1963, Skull, 1976, Albert Einstein, 1980. There were other pop artists too. Roy Lichtenstein was born October 27, 1923 in New York City. Roy painted large copies of comic panels, like this one, and this one. Oh, that one. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that one. Yep, there, that's good. Another pop artist, Jasper Johns, born on May 15th, 1930 in Augusta, Georgia, used American flags and other pop imagery. There's American flag. Oh, there's one. So there's something he did. Very good. Oh, there's some good stuff. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, last, Jim Dine, born in June 16th, 1935 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Painted tools and hearts. There's a tool. There's a heart. There's a tool. There's a heart. Oh, there's a tool. There goes a heart. Tool. And a heart. So these were pop artists. This was the style that was becoming popular of taking everyday popular media like movies, comics, advertisements, and taking the pieces of this and showing them as being their own special artworks. Okay, guys, bye.
Here is an example of Andy Warhol's collection of screen print flowers. Just one set of flowers, and then an example of what we are going to be making today in class. After the demonstration, you are going to get a piece of green paper, and you are going to get your Andy Warhol coloring page. We'll talk about this in a second because this is a color by numbers. First thing you're going to do at your seats is put your name and your class code. For you guys, you are KC. It is very important that you put your class code on here. Okay? Then you're going to set this aside and wait for Mrs. Shartle to call you up. In the meantime, your color by numbers. I'm gonna call up 3 of you at a time. You're gonna bring up your paper that has your name on it and you're gonna put it down in the box. Then you are going to pick a marble color. You have the choice of, today you have the choice of green, blue, or black. I'm gonna go with green. You're gonna say to Mrs. Shartle, I'd like green. Mrs. Shartle's gonna load up your marbles with green paint. And then she's going to drop them in the box. Then you are going to roll your marbles around inside the box. So what we are doing is called a marble painting. You are painting with marbles. Do you see the edge of my box, how pretty that is? That's from classes, many classes doing marble paintings. And you're only gonna do this for a minute or so. When you are done, you're gonna set your box down. You're gonna give your marbles to Mrs. Shartle. You are going to take your paper, and Mrs. Shartle is gonna give you a messy mat to put your paper on. You are then going to carry this over to the drying rack, which I have pulled out for you. And you're gonna slide it onto the drying rack. Make sure to carry it nice and level, okay? You don't wanna tip it or it'll come flying off. Once you're done with this, you can go back to your seats and continue working on your color by number soup cans, or if you finish with that, Mrs. Shartle has another Andy Warhol coloring page for you, but this time it's of Mr. Mickey Mouse, okay?